And now, Knock 2 Studios presents Common Censored.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Common Censored. Thanks for being here, all of you censored commoners, for episode 215. And I'm realizing I forgot to update my banner here, so give me one quick second as I fix this. Copy, select all, paste, update, and boom! Episode 215. Kamala Harris campaign busted spoofing news headlines to trick viewers into thinking that the mainstream media is supporting her. Trump Virginia campaign office was broken into, and that's not me ending a sentence in a preposition. That's the news headline, which I am quoting. And Supermayor Tiffany Henyard fleeing justice reports that she's missing from Dalton, Illinois, as former Mayor Lori Lightfoot's investigation finds all these indiscretions, these criminal acts allegedly perpetrated by the Supermayor herself, embezzling all kinds of money and everything. Crazy stuff. Make sure to join us Monday through Friday as we cover all the crazy clown world clusterfuck chaos on Common Censored. Use hashtag Common Censored and hashtag Info Infantry when you share the show around the web. That's right. I want you to join the Info Infantry and complete missions for the show to earn ranks and promotions. All the missions are is just sharing the show. So share the show. Let us know that you shared it so we can tally up your shares and give you ranks and promotions in the Info Infantry. Pick your branch, Army, Navy, Marines, etc. Thank you guys for your support of the show. Together, we will accelerate and exacerbate the Great Awakening and defeat the global communist takeover before it subsumes and destroys the United States, because that is definitely their goal. You can find us on X at @LordSterling_, and on all the other social media platforms with variations of Common Censored and hashtag Common Censored. Thanks to all of our new subscribers over on Rumble. I think we're at 1,062 subs right now. So if you're new to the show, click that follow button and help boost us in the algorithm. I appreciate it. Links to all the content we discussed today will be posted down in the description immediately following the episode, along with timestamps courtesy of Mama Max. So if you're watching this later on and you're pressed for time and need to maximize the efficiency of your focus and energy, click that description button, find the topics that are interesting to you, and jump right to the point in the episode using Mama Max timestamps to get to the topics that you're not wasting any time. You know what I'm saying? Make sure to give Mama Max some support also by heading over to alplama.com, your new herbal health guru. Don't be sick and dependent on the petrochemical pharmaceutical industry. Check out Alp Llama and their natural herbal extracts to help remedy any of the potential ailments from which you may be suffering. They also have herbal teas, which are delicious. Tranquility, Serenity, spring floral tea, women's health organic herbal blend. Big shout out to Alp Llama. You guys will not be disappointed. They taste bad, but they're so good for you. Alp Llama, yuck. And another big shout out to our new company that we're working with as an affiliate. You can head on over to our link tree to find all of our links. Right at the top, you'll see Golden Cocoon, EMF protection, and clothing. That's right. It used to be that if you wore a tinfoil hat because you were worried about harmful frequencies affecting your mind and physiology, you were crazy. But now it's well known and accepted that we're constantly all being bombarded by EM frequencies like 5G, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and now with the onset of the Internet of Things, we're just going to be swimming around in a soup of crazy EM radiation. So now it's the same people who are wearing tinfoil hats, and not only has the paradigm evolved, but so have the tinfoil hats themselves. Introducing Golden Cocoon EMF protection products. Protect your most valuable asset, your brain, from harmful cancer-causing EMF frequencies. They got cool beanies made with organic cotton and 100 standard lyocell bamboo fabric laced with silver. Tinfoil's great, but silver is the way to go. I like that 3-9 fine. 50% bamboo, 40% silver, 10% spandex, and they've been independently lab tested, shown to reduce EMF by 99.99%. So make sure to check these out. They got neck gaiters, scarves, a couple different varieties of beanies, hoods, hats, blankets, really good stuff. Anybody that wants to support the broadcast via Rumble Rant or donation to Cash App, Venmo, Google Pay will automatically enter the info infantry at the level of warrant officer in the branch of your choice. Anybody who hits that big, beautiful join button to join the channel as a member on Rumble or signs up monthly to support us via Subscribestar and Locals for $5 a month will automatically enter as a commissioned officer in the info infantry. So thank you in advance for your support. And I'm looking forward to giving you your deserved ranks and promotions in the info infantry. Disclaimer: views expressed on Common Censored are only opinions. Assume everything we say is false and research for yourself. We're not giving medical, legal, or financial advice. The only advice we are giving is think for yourself. Question authority. Think for yourself. Question authority. Boom! I see Mandy J. Lawson hanging out with us over there. What's up, Mandy? How you doing? So let's jump into the news. Man, I'm kind of disappointed. I had a cold open all lined up for the show today. Somebody's spoofing on Raygun, the Australian Olympic breakdancer. But what do you know? Mama Mac shared this with me. Thanks, Mama Mac. Mr. Truthbomb at Real. Mr. Truthbomb posted this. Australia has formally requested that people stop doing videos making fun of their Olympic breakdancer named Raygun. This TikTok winner wins the internet today. But what do you know? The media has been disabled in response to a report by the copyright owner. So apparently, not only are the Olympics censoring people sharing clips, but it's also the people spoofing the Olympics are censoring people sharing clips. So if I can find this, I'll try to play it for you because it's hilarious. But there's a whole an epidemic of people spoofing on this horrible breakdancer Raygun, which is just hilarious, ridiculous moment. But let's jump over to our next topic. This is a kind of a cool one. Just a clip from last night's. Oh, and real quick, I guess this wasn't on screen. Sorry about that. Here's the the video that's been disabled by the owner to a report by the copyright owner. Yeah. So unfortunately, we can't play that clip. But let's jump over to our next topic. A little clip from last night's Elon and Trump interview, which I thought stuck out to me. I was, when I'm watching stuff on the show and I'm working on bringing people's comments up and other things, I don't necessarily catch every little bit of every video we play. So I was watching Greg Foreman's coverage last night, and he was being good, just sitting there, real quiet, listening. So this little clip by Trump stood out to me.
It's hard. I have to say this about the Secret Service. When I went down, and I went down based on, I think they're screaming, but other people also, because people saw this happen. You had so many people. One of the miracles was that nobody ran. I mean, if a gun goes off, the crowd control people showed us this. When guns go off, and it does happen in stadiums at a soccer match or some kind of a match, everybody flees. They call it a stampede, like cattle. But everybody, and a lot of people get killed with those stampedes. We had more people than you'd have at, some of these matches or these games, and nobody left. You had a small group behind us in the grandstand, and that was full. And you look at it as it was taking place, and normally they'd be running. They didn't leave. They saw that I was hurt. They saw a lot of blood, and they saw that I went down. and it's almost like they wanted to be with me. Well, out front, you had thousands, tens of thousands of people.
The crowd was enormous when it was going down. I was watching it live, but I was like a minute or two behind because I went back to take a video of just how huge the crowd was. Couldn't even see the end of it. It was unreal. But it's just amazing to me. You know, if you yell, if there's a fire in a theater or something, everybody panics, starts freaking out. But on this occasion, nobody ran. It says a lot about the MAGA crowd, about how much they care about the commander in chief. I was thinking about it like a battlefield, and nobody abandoned their commander. It was just amazing. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. The dedication of the people there. Any other crowd, people would have been running and stampeding, but not that crowd. Pretty amazing. Trump also had a really funny comment about about Biden's amazing job of accomplishing something that should be impossible. Jack Posobiec posted this one at Jack Posobiec on X. New hoax alert. We talked about this last night. For all the doubters claiming Trump was lisping on the call, it was just Space's compression. Here he is recorded on a phone in the same conversation, sounding perfectly normal. This has been happening for months, so it's interesting that the media is jumping on it right now, like, oh, Trump is lisping. Look at Elon's interview with Alex Jones. Alex was doing the same thing because it's not Trump or Alex doing it. It's the various plugins that they have. So if you notice on X Spaces, you don't hear a bunch of background noise. They've got a background noise reducer. They've got a deplosive plugin. So like if I didn't have this pop filter on the microphone, if I went, it would be like a boom, boom blast every time that P sound. It's called a plosive, and it sends an airwave into the microphone and screws up the recording basically. So they have denoise, they have deplosive, and then they also have a de-esser, because S's coming across in microphones can be really loud and distracting. So a lot of highly produced shows and things like that use what's called a de-esser to eliminate the S sound. And when you have the de-esser on too strong, it kind of makes it sound like you're lisping because it's changing the way that the S comes across. So here's a video of Trump speaking raw into the phone that he was using for Spaces last night, but he had a really good comment here about Biden's amazing accomplishment that was pretty hilarious.
Biden actually did something that was impossible. Both sides hate him, both sides. Yeah. That was a hard thing to do. Unification.
That's it. Just a hard thing to do. Unification. He united the nation in hatred against himself. Hilarious. Let's jump over to our next topic. We have the United Auto Workers Union filing of federal labor charges against Trump and Musk after the X Spaces conversation alleging worker intimidation. What are you talking about? United Auto Workers Union has filed labor charges against former President Donald Trump and billionaire tech mogul Elon Musk. This comes hot on the heels of their groundbreaking X Spaces interview, a conversation that garnered global attention and shattered records with nearly 1 billion combined views of the conversation and subsequent discussion. By other accounts, the interview saw them exchanging ideas on a wide range of topics. However, not everyone was thrilled by the outcome of the conversation. The United Auto Workers, a union deeply entrenched in leftist ideologies, has taken issue with comments made during the discussion. Specifically, they accused Trump and Musk of attempting to intimidate and threaten workers who exercise their rights to engage in protected activities such as strikes. During the interview, Trump made a statement regarding striking workers, suggesting companies should have the right to make tough decisions about their workforce. Yeah, they should. You want to quit? They go on strike. I won't mention the name of the company, but they go on strike and you say, that's okay. You're all gone. You're all gone. So every one of you is gone. Trump said, nothing wrong with that. Private companies should be able to fire anybody they want for any reason, unless it's a publicly traded company. In which case, if anybody can purchase stock, then you shouldn't be able to discriminate, etc. But the 1964 Civil Rights Act and everything eviscerated the rights of businesses, private companies, unconstitutionally, in my opinion. I think that that's all unconstitutional. Anyway, Trump's comment referred to Musk's acquisition of Twitter and X, where nearly 80% of the company was dismissed. Those language mistakenly described the employees as striking. In reality, Musk had already planned the layoffs when he decided to acquire Twitter. So the UAW predictably outraged, was quick to pounce on these comments. They've filed charges claiming that such remarks violate federal labor laws, specifically the National Labor Relations Act, which protects workers from being fired for participating in strikes. Unconstitutional act. Without an amendment, they can't tell businesses they can't fire people. It's ridiculous. So here's their statement. The UAW has filed federal labor charges against disgraced billionaires Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Oh, they're so disgraced that they have massive support for their illegal attempts to threaten and intimidate workers who stand up for themselves by engaging in protected, concerted activities such as the strikes. After significant technical delays on X, they can't resist just taking jabs at at the tech issues, formerly known as Twitter. Trump and Musk had a rambling, disorganized conversation on Monday, in front of over 1 million listeners, in which they advocated for the illegal firing of striking workers. Under federal law, workers cannot be fired for going on strike, and threatening to do so is illegal under the unconstitutional National Labor Relations Act. When we say Donald Trump is a scab, this is what we mean. When we say Trump stands against everything our union stands for, this is what we mean, said UAW President Sean Fain. Quote, Donald Trump will always side against workers standing up for themselves, and he will always side with billionaires like Elon Musk, who is contributing $45 million a month to a super PAC to get him elected. Both Trump and Musk want working class people to sit down and shut up. And they laugh about it openly. It's disgusting, illegal, and totally predictable from these two clowns. Whatever. Get bent, losers. Fuck unions, in my opinion. Leftist bullshit. Private companies have the right to fire whoever they want for any reason, in my opinion, unless there's a contract that specifically excludes reasons for firing. So let's jump into our next topic. I'd be interested to hear what you guys think about this comment as well, or about this topic. Let me know in the chat. Let's jump over to the Gateway Pundit. No one is fooled. Even China, Russia, Iran alliance nations see how horribly biased and dishonest U.S. media is today. Jim Hoft wrote this one. The U.S. and Western countries have constructed a fake news media behemoth that rivals any other propaganda outlet in history. Many, quote, free, unquote, citizens in the West grew up learning about the bias of Pravda news during the Soviet days, and American children learned about free speech and the brutality and danger of tin pot dictatorships. Unfortunately, those days are over, and the West today is dominated by a well-organized multinational propaganda service that punishes any opposing voices to official approved dogma and doctrine. And we already had this complete controlled corporate media fake news behemoth for decades and decades. It's just that we didn't have the internet so that people could have avenues to gain traction expressing their own opinions outside of that. Now that we do, they're fighting back against it, but it's always been controlled corporate garbage. On Monday, top EU official Terry Breton interfered with the 2024 U.S. presidential election, trying to stop Musk from interviewing Trump. He warned that not all language and ideas from their discussion would be allowed to spread on the European continent. Yeah, because free speech doesn't exist over there, apparently. The EU wants desperately to control free speech today, much like any petty tyrant has throughout history. And we have another story about a dude who just got sentenced to 20 months in prison for saying that the illegal migrants are raping people over in the UK. You can't even just make observations. They're not fooling anyone. Neither is the U.S. fake news collective. It's so bad that even the BRICS nations are noticing. BRICS nations are an alliance of several nations, including Russia, China, Iran, Brazil, and South Africa, formed into a geopolitical bloc to counter Western alliances. We got to watch out for that BRICS currency that could destroy the dollar when it's announced just by being gold. Even the BRICS X page today took notice of the fake news reports on the Trump-Musk interview that garnered over 1 billion views. BRICS News reported, the fake Western mainstream media has been spreading false narratives about Elon Musk's spaces with Donald Trump, attempting to paint it as a failure. They've published numerous misleading headlines suggesting the event was a catastrophe. In reality, the interview amassed a combined total of over 1 billion views in just 12 hours and is the largest space in platform history, Elon Musk's X platform has effectively dismantled the mainstream media's control over narratives, just like I've been saying. And they're posting all of these screenshots of fake news headlines. Trump rambles, slurs his way through Elon Musk interview. It was an unmitigated disaster. You know he wasn't slurring. You know that it was the compression and the de-esser. At least he's consistent, Brian Taylor Cohen on Elon Musk's failed X interview with Donald Trump. After a 40-minute delay, Elon Musk and Donald Trump hold marathon bull session on X. Donald Trump and Elon Musk's X coverage took forever to start, then never ended. Trump repeats same talking points during Musk interview, but the former president's lisp steals the show. These people know they're lying about this. Mandy J. Lawson, thanks for the Rumble rant, Mandy. It's so good to see you here, just generally, but even on top of that, being here and donating to the show, Mandy, you win an award today. Thanks so much for being here, Mandy. And not even giving a comment for me to read, just a smiley face. Love you, Mandy. Thanks so much for supporting the show. Really appreciate you. Hope everything is well down in sunny Florida. And thanks for being here. Trump's interview with Musk dissolves into yet another X catastrophe. Rambling Trump Musk interview marred by tech issues. So Bricks knows that these people are always lying scum, and they're not hesitating to call it out now as well. Joining the party. Let's jump over to our next topic. Let's see. What is she running for? 5th grade class leader? Good comment, Mama Mac. Mama Mac shared this one with me. The Hodge twins posted this. You don't send out emails like this if you really think you're winning. Harris Walls. Right now, Elon Musk is interviewing Donald Trump live on Twitter. We're not calling it X. It's not enough that Musk has pledged to donate millions of dollars to help re-elect Trump. He's using his purchased platform, one of the largest social media sites in the world, to spread Trump's unhinged and hateful agenda to millions of users. I don't know. Did you guys hear anything hateful last night come out of Donald Trump? I didn't. Otherwise, let us remind you why this is a big deal. The richest person in the world is a lackey for Team MAGA. Musk already ruined Twitter by allowing hate speech and disinformation to flood the platform. Now, Musk is using his vast fortune and broad reach to try to control our democracy. No, you're trying to control it by shutting down speech. These people are lying trash, man. It's so ridiculous. So, elect me so we can censor everybody and prevent anybody from having open discussion. I'm Kamala Harris. I got my heels up. Let's jump over to our next one. Man, these people are such a joke. Just drives me crazy. Never forget, cops shoot people with paintballs standing on their front porches during the lockdown curfew ordered by Governor Tim Walz in Minnesota in 2020. Carrie Sloan posted this one at @thereal_SNS. Just a little bit of a refresher in case you guys don't remember this. Walz ordered people to be lit up with paintballs for standing on their porches. Are you kidding?
And if you pay attention, you'll hear the police say, get in the house. You'll hear several commands, and then you'll hear, light them up. And then that's when you get the fire. We'll play it again.
This is...
Get in your house now! Let's go! Light them up! Go inside now! Get in the house!
Stomping down the streets, hitting civilians with paintballs.
Get in!
So this is the type of leadership you can expect from Tim Walz in the Harris administration. Obey or we will assault you with projectiles. And people, unsuspecting normies who've never been hit by a paintball before, they would be, probably, it would hurt them and they'd be psychologically assaulted as well. I used to just run around in my backyard and let my friends shoot at me with my paintball gun. But not everybody would like to do that for sure. So they it's so unconstitutional. Locking people into their houses, the idea of lockdowns to start are bad enough, but then going around hitting people with paintballs, like this dude is a lunatic, straight up insane person. You guys actually know exactly what it is.
It's pure evil!
That's right, Joni Jones. Thanks for the comment. Let's jump to our next topic. Rules for thee, but not for me. Now, Biden's apparently free vacations are a focus of a formal complaint. This was by Bob Unruh on WND.com originally. Whenever Biden wishes to celebrate a holiday or go on vacation, there seems to be a billionaire whose interests can be benefited by the president waiting to offer a vacation home. Like the mayor of Moscow's wife? Is that one of them? The potential for conflicts of interest is vast. Indeed, former ethics officials for both parties have roundly condemned these activities and pointed out their, quote, illegality. Now it is Joe Biden's apparently luxury vacations at exotic locales and resorts most Americans can only see in pictures that are the subject of a complaint and request for investigation. For months, even years, Democrats and other leftists have been scorching individual justices on this U.S. Supreme Court, mostly conservatives Clarence Thomas and Samuel Alito, for their vacations in the company of friends they have. Democrats are demanding a new Congress-run code of ethics for the justices. Biden has joined in that agenda. But a report from Just the News explains that even as Biden and Democrats have been pushing for the Supreme Court, quote, reform, unquote, that would give members of Congress control over the way justices make decisions, Biden apparently has been taking freebies and not reporting them. Imagine my shock. Rules for thee, but not for me, the report taunted, explaining, quote, Biden and his family have repeatedly vacationed at wealthy friends' homes over the years without disclosing them on financial forms, yet encouraged media scrutiny of SCOTUS's similar actions. Leftists in the media have been joining the progressives in the Democrat Party to call for new congressional controls over the High Court. One idea that would be to let Congress decide when a justice can rule on a case. What? But Biden's own decision to take apparently free vacations at resort locations is the subject of a recent complaint filed by the Center for Renewing America, which asked the Department of Justice to investigate, quote, whenever Biden wishes to celebrate a holiday or go on vacation, there seems to be a billionaire whose interests can be benefited by the president waiting to offer a vacation home. This guy who wrote this, CRA President Russ Vought. Ooh, Vought makes me think of The Boys on Amazon. Good show. Although politically weaponized against the right, but entertaining and gory and brutal nonetheless. Homelander, Team Homelander all the way. He's the Trump character, apparently. He was director of the White House Office of Management and Budget under President Trump. Just weeks ago, Biden proposed to reform the Supreme Court. Democrats are on a rampage to change the court, but this complaint is being filed now, pointing out the hypocrisy of Joe Biden doing exactly what he's complaining about other people doing. So will there be justice? Is it a two-tiered justice system? It certainly is two-tiered, and now there probably won't be any justice. Elon Musk posted this. Wow, this is concerning. From Catherine Herridge, recently fired from, CBS, who confiscated all of her reporting and everything. Breaking, leaked government memo confirms whistleblowers were targeted by the border agency after exposing federal DNA collection law was not followed for immigration violations. Homeland Security whistleblowers claim American deaths, quote, were preventable. Let's check this clip out, some of it at least.
Americans are dead, and these deaths were preventable.
So this internal government memo confirms that you were retaliated against because you spoke out against officials at Homeland Security who you believed were violating the law.
Yes, 100%.
The agency's goal is to bankrupt you, make you quit, die, kill yourselves, or basically preferably all of the above.
Sounds about right. Rings true.
This law is on the books.
Yes.
Is Homeland Security enforcing the DNA collection law?
Not fully.
As a result, are Americans less safe?
Yes.
No question in your mind.
None.
Our team sat down with 3 government whistleblowers with 7 decades of law enforcement experience. They work at Customs and Border Protection, or CBP, a division of Homeland Security.
This internal government memo confirms that you were retaliated against because you spoke out against officials at Homeland Security who you believed were violating the law.
Yes. 100%.
The agency's intentional decade-long failure to implement a law designed to protect public safety. That's its conclusion. Customs and Border Protection is in violation of the federal law, and it's done knowingly.
Yes.
This internal Homeland Security directive, marked law enforcement sensitive, lays out the law. The border agency is required to collect DNA samples from non-United States persons in detention for immigration violations. Known as the DNA Fingerprint Act, it passed in 2005 with bipartisan support.
So there's no ambiguity. The language is clear.
It lays it out as a roadmap.
Have you ever seen a directive like this be ignored?
Never.
No.
Okay, a lot of people are going to be confused. Homeland Security's job is to uphold the law and to keep Americans safe.
You've never seen a directive like this being ignored? What about all of the immigration laws, which they're just completely ignoring and just letting millions of people pour across the border? Seems like they're just ignoring the entire immigration system. How about that?
But what you're alleging is that Homeland Security is not complying with the law.
That's correct.
Since 2021, under the Biden-Harris administration, Homeland Security's own data reports more than 10 million border encounters.
The internal mood is it's a dumpster fire.
It is a questioning of our mission versus what is actually being executed in the field.
Jones showed us what's supposed to happen in the field when DNA is collected from individuals detained and processed on immigration violations.
So, Catherine, this is the kit that's provided by the FBI to the Customs and Border Protection officers and agents. Place it inside your cheek, rub inside your cheek 3 times.
3 times, yeah.
You're collecting saliva and skin cells or epithelial cells.
Okay.
I would then take it back from you, close it, place it inside the white envelope, which then gets sent to the FBI laboratory for processing.
So 30 seconds to collect, about $4 a pack.
Correct.
How long to process by the FBI?
Approximately 72 hours.
So it helps you identify suspects.
Absolutely. It gives an investigative lead to a law enforcement agency.
Has the system solved cold cases?
Yes, it's presumptively solved over 1,000 cases just from DNA collection.
Not only does it cut down on crime, it also cuts down on the time that it takes law enforcement to find this individual.
So considering rape is one of the, big crimes committed by illegals, having their DNA might be good. So you can run the samples from the rape kits against the DNA database and bust these freaking people to know who they are. But nope, can't allow that. We got to just make sure that they don't get
You've
caught.
had Republican administrations, you've had Democratic administrations. Have either of them implemented the law?
No, the willful noncompliance, I believe, is inexplicable.
For many years, the Department of Homeland Security and Customs and Border Protection have failed to follow the law.
Recent data released by Republican Senator Chuck Grassley suggests nearly 70% of border encounters did not include DNA collection as required by law, and as many as 950,000 violent criminals were unidentified.
950,000 violent criminals went unidentified. That's nearly 1 million people.
That estimate was from 2010 through 2019. That was 5 million illegal entries at the time.
What you're saying to me is that 950,000 violent criminals is an old number. It's on the low end.
Yes, ma'am.
The continued prolonged willful failure to comply with the DNA Fingerprint Act has resulted in the harm that Americans are dead, and these deaths were preventable.
Boom. Check the full video out. Link will be in the description following the broadcast. This was posted by Catherine Herridge at @C_Herridge, HERRIDGE. Make sure to share this around, let people know what's going on. Next, let's take a little trip across the pond over to the UK and see what kind of hell is unfolding over there. Internet Hall of Fame at InternetH0F posted this one. They really arrested him for eating a sandwich while waiting for his train. You know, they used to arrest you for drinking in public, which is questionable enough. We either have rights or we don't. But how about this?
You're eating. Bro, so what? It's against the law. So what? It's a violation of California law.
Is this real?
I have the right to detain you.
Oh, this isn't even the UK?
Yes, I did.
Look that up.
I'm going to jail. I'm not going to jail for eating a sandwich? No, for resisting arrest. I'm not resisting arrest. You are resisting. I haven't done anything wrong.
Where's the sign up here that says that we can't eat on the platform?
Right, let go of my bag. You are detained and you're not free to go. I'm not detained. I haven't done nothing wrong. I've done nothing wrong. You are detained.
This is the US, Omega. Yeah, I fucked up.
It's illegal. It's a violation of California law.
California, allegedly.
Turn around now. I've done nothing wrong. Turn around.
Stop. Just listen. Just listen.
Ain't nobody resisting. Ain't nobody resisting.
Just listen. You didn't even do anything. 4 cops eating a sandwich. That's all he did was eat a sandwich.
So people are getting arrested for eating eating sandwiches now. The crazy duck lady. Good to see you. That's right. Gavin, new scum. New scum. That's a good one. Totally accurate. Gruesome new scum. Whew, we're in trouble, guys. We're in trouble. This headline was so extreme, I just assumed it was UK. But nope, apparently not. This time we will take a real trip over to the UK across the pond and take a look at this. Jones posted this earlier. Breaking video. UK judge sentences man to 20 months for saying that Muslim migrants raped people. Apparently, you can't even just have an opinion or make observations.
Went on to say that you did not want your money going to immigrants who, quote, rape our kids and get priority, end quote. This offence is so serious that an immediate custodial sentence is unavoidable.
This offence of speaking your mind is so serious. Oh my fucking...
Would you stand, please?
Look at this
The
clown.
sentence that I pass has been reduced by 1/3 to reflect your guilty plea. The sentence is one of 20 months imprisonment.
Real quick, he's got, these British judges, they got the Galactic Empire from Star Wars, the evil Empire's colors, white stormtroopers, black Darth Vader, red honor guard. Nazi colors, man.
The sentence that I pass has been reduced by 1/3 to reflect your guilty plea. The sentence is one of 20 months imprisonment.
Can I do a Kamala laugh? I can't even do it.
While other networks lie to you about what's happening now, InfoWars tells you the truth about
total
what's
dork
happening
gator.
next. Visit Infowars.com/show and share the link today.
20 months,
I
noodling.
look at all this stuff, and half the time, I can't even cover it. Because I've already watched the clips, I've already researched it, and it's like, I'm looking at Joe Biden, I'm looking at Netanyahu, I'm looking at these judge videos where you said migrants rape people. That's the worst thing you can do. 20 months in jail. That's the quote. I have the video. I mean, I got all the statistics. They commit over 70% of the rapes in every European country. They're absolute maniacs. They come from countries where women all wear beekeeper suits.
It's not funny. Sorry.
And the only woman they've ever seen is their mama or their sister, who's probably their sister or their... I'm not trying to be mean. It's true. I mean, the inbreeding is insane in those areas of Central Asia. And then they ship in literal inbred cavemen. And all they've seen online is hardcore porn.
And Germany was advertising
and
you can have
they've
sex
done
with our
surveys of
children.
the boat people coming in from Somalia and coming in from Afghanistan and Pakistan. And they literally say, what are you coming for? We're coming for the whores. We're coming for the white women. So imagine they never even get to see women. Women wear hoods, but they're watching porn. They're like, and like Germany's putting ads out that are seen saying, come to Germany. The women want to have sex with you. I've played these TV shows. They have them on children's TV for targeting 8 and 9-year-olds. I've played the clip a lot. Guys, I haven't played like 3 years. It's still on YouTube. Just type in German TV tells German teens to have sex with migrants. And it says, this is Jenny. She's 12, and she's having sex with a 22-year-old from Pakistan. And then they say in German, you can come here and have sex with our... So the German left is advertising, if you come to Germany or Sweden, you can have sex. So they show up, and in their country, an unaccompanied woman that isn't wearing a hood over their head gets
advertising rape me. That's basically what
and then if the woman gets
the way
raped,
they interpret it.
She either gets acid thrown in her face or stoned to death because it's her fault she got raped.
Boom. So they're putting people in prison for 20 months just for saying that they don't want their money to go to migrants that are coming over and raping people. Bananas. Let's jump over to our next topic. Watch. Joe Biden throws Kamala heels up. Kamala Harris under the bus, saying she's also responsible for the current dumpster fire economy as she desperately tries to distance herself from his policies. He must be a little bit salty that they stole his candidacy. Joe Biden on Tuesday stopped to chat with reporters on the south lawn of the White House as he departed en route to New Orleans. Biden is traveling to Louisiana to deliver remarks at a cancer moonshot event. He's going to cure cancer. Just ask him. Remember, he's been talking about, we're going to cure cancer, guys. After hiding from the public, Biden shuffled out of the White House and took 4 questions. 4. Before hobbling over to Marine One. One reporter asked him if he would attend the Trump inauguration. I have good manners, not like him, Biden said. Another reporter asked Biden about his latest threat to Trump and whether calling him a, quote, danger to American security was lowering the temperature of political rhetoric. That's a statement of fact, Jack, Biden replied. I added the Jack, just to clarify. Biden responded to criticism from Team Trump about Kamala Harris being more liberal than Biden. Joe Biden threw Kamala under the bus, and she said she also is responsible for the current dumpster fire economy. The issues that we've worked on together have made great progress economically, Biden said. So saying she's responsible for the status, but trying to pass it off as if it's a good thing. Time delayed fuse shuffled. Yeah. Over to Marine One. So brutal. Good to see you, bro. Hope you're having a good week. There is no progress economically. Americans are suffering from crippling inflation thanks to Joe and the hoe. Let's watch this clip. Kind of hard to hear what he's saying, so. It looks like Jeff Dunham's puppet. We're going to skip this clip because you can't hear anything, but he looks like that old man ventriloquist doll that Jeff Dunham uses. Spot on. Spot on. You can watch this clip if you want to suffer through the haze of static and helicopter sounds on your own time. But we read the quotes, so we got the important stuff. How about this one? Black Philadelphia woman fights back tears. She describes how Biden-Harris inflation is killing us without killing us. Oh, man, that's so brutal. Oh, it hurts even to read that, man.
How hard has inflation hit you?
It hit me hard. It's hitting me hard.
Who do you blame for it?
I blame the federal government at this point. If a working class mom who works as a paralegal cannot buy a $2 bell pepper because it's now $5, imagine
Seriously.
a mother living on food stamps. Imagine a mother who's making minimum wage trying to feed children.
It's heartbreaking, man.
They're killing us without killing us. If you understand that. They're killing us without telling us they're killing us. They're hurting people in ways that they can't help themselves. It's either feed my child or how about feed my children and I don't eat, but I have to go work.
I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at Ed calling me a Fed in the chat. Are you calling me a Fed? Are you calling me a Fed, Ed?
Shouldn't we at least consider the possibility that Duncan is a spy?
No, we should not consider that. Get out of here, Howard Finch. Check out Person of Interest, really good show. Free right now on Freevee and Amazon Prime. Freevee's free app on Roku, etc. You don't even have to make an account or anything. Just download it and boom, you can watch Person of Interest from 2011 starring Jim Caviezel, played Jesus in The Passion of the Christ, also starred in last summer's blockbuster hit Sound of Freedom that beat Indiana Jones at the box office about busting human child trafficking ring down in Colombia or something. I haven't been able to bring myself to watch it because it would just be too emotionally traumatizing, but it was really lauded and praised movie. Jim Caviezel is primo. Check out Person of Interest. How about this? We saw Kamala and co. stealing Trump's new policy of not taxing tips. And but it's interesting in this context, particularly. Flashback, Kamala Harris cast the tie-breaking vote to let the IRS track workers' tips to be taxed. So she may be doing this for political points to score, but she was the tie-breaking vote as the VP, the speaker, in the Senate, the person who the head of the Senate, basically, who, if there's a tie, they get to cast the additional vote. She personally made sure that the IRS could tax people's tips and track them after shamelessly stealing Trump's no tax on tips idea. So just insane. Just a little reminder that Yeah, Kamala hopes that service workers will forget she was the one to cast the tie-breaking vote.
The yeas are 50, the nays are 50. The Senate being equally divided, the Vice President votes in the affirmative, and the bill, as amended, is passed.
Sad trombone. Inflation Reduction Act changed a wide variety of tax laws and provided funds to improve our services and technology to make tax filing easier for you. Give us your money, plebs. Technically, of course, the Supreme Court has defined income as, quote, gain derived by corporate activity, unquote. So your labor and wages, when you make an even trade, 8 hours of work for 8 hours of pay, there's no gain in that at all. They trick you into, quote, voluntary compliance under the Internal Revenue Code by funneling your labor and wages through your Social Security identity, a corporation formed in your name when you sign up for Social Security. And at that point, it becomes gain for that corporation, gain derived by corporate activity. So you're volunteering to pay income taxes, and people just have no idea about what's really going on, basically. And even if income was labor and wages, the 16th Amendment was never properly ratified. So it's a shit show, guys. That's right. The king demands tribute of the subjects. The first iteration of the Declaration of Independence, I think it was, written by Thomas Jefferson, had American subjects, and it was crossed out or eliminated, and he replaced it with citizens. So that's kind of interesting. Just a little tidbit there. Let's see what we got next. More dirty tactics by the Kamala Harris campaign as they use Google search ads to make it appear that major news outlets are on her side without their knowledge by editing and spoofing the headlines. You can't even make this stuff up, man. Christina Layla got me on my knees, wrote this one. So they're using this Google Ads service where they get to make these ads, and they change the headlines. Harris campaign is editing news headlines with Google search ads to make it appear like major news outlets such as Reuters, CBS, CNN, NPR, and AP are on her side. Excuse me. While these major news outlets are shilling for Harris, her campaign edited the news headlines without the outlet's consent or knowledge. The ads say sponsored, but the outlets did not publish the text. The favorable headlines were written by the Harris campaign. CNN, NPR, and other outlets told Axios they were unaware of the ads. Google says the Harris campaign has not violated their policies because the ads are labeled, quote, sponsored, unquote. Axios reported the Harris campaign has been editing news headlines and descriptions within Google search ads that make it appear as if The Guardian, Reuters, CBS News, and other major publishers are on her side. Axios has found why it matters. It's a common practice in the commercial advertising world that doesn't violate Google's policies, but the ads mimic real news results from search closely enough that they have outlets caught off guard. According to Google's Ad Transparency Center, the Trump campaign isn't running these types of ads, but this technique has been used by campaigns before. The ads say that they're sponsored, but it's not immediately clear that the text that the company's real news links is written by the campaigns and not by the media publication itself. What they're saying, quote, while we understand why an organization might wish to align itself with the Guardian's trusted brand, we need to ensure that it is being used appropriately and with our permission. We'll be reaching out to Google for more information about this practice, a Guardian spokesperson said. Let's check in with Zero Hedge's article about this as well. If you're not familiar, Zero Hedge is a great website, lots of good financial coverage. Harris campaign busted spoofing news outlets and headline-altering ad scheme. Despite corporate media's unabashed U-turn to support Kamala Harris, her campaign has been busted creating made-up headlines next to the names of real news outlets to trick people into thinking they've stumbled upon the real thing, Axios reports. And it's interesting, mentioning the U-turn to support Kamala. If you guys remember, there had been talk of 25th Amendmenting Biden to get him out of office, but they decided not to do it. And everybody was saying it was a bad idea in the media because Kamala was so atrocious. Kamala was Biden's insurance policy to make sure that he wasn't removed from the presidency with the 25th Amendment. But now, even after reporting on that and talking about how bad Kamala was, all the media is just suddenly saying she's amazing and the best. Think for yourself. Question authority. Completely crazy. Completely crazy. The ads include links to real articles from the outlets. However, the headlines and supporting text were altered. That's some Democrat trickery right there. These people, man. Incorrigible. Incorrigible. Is that an applicable verbiage to use for that? Let's jump over to our next topic. We're going to have to... I guess we don't have to ditch YouTube for this one because this video is on YouTube. But, oh man, this is brutal. This is so insane. Tim Walz's stomach pumped for horse seed. I'll try not to be too graphic, although I want to call him a horse guzzler. But let's check out some of this video here because this is bananas. Bananas.
Happy Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. It is your big brother, the deplorable, with an amazingly true story, which makes the Hunter laptop look like...
That's right, my Mac.
It makes the Hunter laptop look like nothing. Almost nothing. The story you are about to hear is from West Point News, and it was published on August 30th, 1995. So
this is not just being fabricated from nothing. This is apparently a real news article from West Point News from 1995.
About to hit the...
Allegedly.
What is that? The 29th anniversary. We're almost kissing 30 years from the day that Tim Walz had his stomach pumped.
And I apologize for the disgusting subject matter. I see people leaving the broadcast already. But, you know, this is fair game. This guy's going to be the VP. We should know about his shenanigans.
Some of you might have been very grossed out by the little meme thumbnails that I made today. So I was on Bug Out Island and we were doing a little bit of research, and White Feather Swami and Panda of the Moonshine Talking channel brought this to my attention, and I'm about to share this with you. I hope you guys are having a beautiful Sunday evening, and we're going to hop right in. And if you want a copy of the article for yourself from the West Point News in Nebraska from August 30th, 1995, it is in the community tab. And I might even make a t-shirt about this one if I can clean it up a little bit. This is not like, public friendly, but make it a little bit more obscure that people will know. So let me get rid of these little thumbnails. I'm going to turn my audio off so you can hear the movie. And I do ask that you do thumbs up if you like my service. I did spend my Sunday evening, instead of spending it with my family, I spent the last 90 minutes working on this for you guys. Oops, get rid of that there. And here we have a picture of Tim back in 1995. Maybe he was trying to impress a girl. There is Moonshine Talking, the man who will be reading the story to you right now in the chat. And I see that we do have most of our original family here and many new family members. And we're going to grow it a little bit. Is when I see, oh yeah, and I am throwing a lob ball here to Salty Cracker tomorrow. You owe me one, buddy. This is Salty. A lob. This is a lob. This is definitely going to put, if I was a monetized channel, if I was Salty Cracker tomorrow, I'd be making about $3,000 or $4,000 off of this story. But I am an unmonetized channel, and I only get paid by your thumbs up. Your thumbs up are all the money I need.
So this is from Intel, ITELL Intel on YouTube. Give this guy some support. Make sure to head over there and subscribe to his channel, Intel. We want to give credit where it's due, and thanks for making this story public, sir.
To continue my patriotic endeavor. All right, volume off, and we'll start the story. This is bigger than Hunter's laptop.
This is gross.
For context, we are on Bug Out Island, which is one of the many islands you will find on the Ohio River. And the story is being read by Moonshine Talkin', a channel here on YouTube that's currently locked out from getting strikes. You can go subscribe to them. They're a lot of fun. We usually have a barbecue roasting part of a pig every Sunday, and I'm the guy giggling in the background as Panda from Moonshine Talking channel reads the story. Here we go.
Local man's stomach pumped after neighborhood dare goes wrong.
Oh my God.
Nebraska man hospitalized after unusual over-ingesting of incident, or over-ingestation
I tell
incident.
intel. Thanks,
August
crazy
30th,
duck lady.
1995 West Point incident, or over-ingestation incident. August 30th, 1995 West Point, Nebraska. In a bizarre and unprecedented medical emergency, Tim Walls, a local resident of West Point, was rushed to West Point General Hospital last night after reportedly over-ingesting horse semen. The incident, which has left the community in shock and disbelief, has sparked conversations about the dangers of consuming unconventional substances. I'd say emergency responders were called to Mr. Walls' residence around 11 p.m. after he began experiencing severe abdominal pain and distress. The distress was people finding out that he ingested horse semen, by the way. Yeah. Mr. Walls was conscious, but
Whoops.
God damn it, Tim, I told you. Transferred to the hospital. Dr. Amanda Thompson, the attending physician at West Point General, confirmed that Mr. Walls required a stomach pumping procedure to remove the ingested material. Let's call it material. This is an extraordinary case, she says, Dr. Thompson. While we have accounted various ingestion incidences, this is
Alicia, good to see you.
The patient is currently stable and under observation, and mental observation too, right?
Sorry again for this disgusting content, but
if you're gonna spew into this.
Garth's got you covered if you need to spew.
Details surrounding the circumstances of the ingestion remain unclear. Friends and family of Mr. Waltz, who have all been interviewed, expressed their shock.
I wouldn't interview people.
Nothing.
I'm not drinking horse semen.
Have you heard? All right, nothing that is known for the adventurous spirit, but had never engaged in such extreme behavior before. I mean, he likes horses. He's adventurous.
Clearly.
A little bit adventurous, okay? But Tim is fun-loving. But this is completely out of character for him, said the close friend who wished to remain anonymous. No way.
Whoa, dude!
As his mom.
I'm a friend, but I don't want everybody to know I'm a friend. And I ride a moped.
It's wrong, guys. It's wrong.
I'm telling you guys, it's wrong. It's wrong!
Oh my God.
Medical experts warn that consuming non-food substances can lead to serious health complications, including gastrointestinal distress, poisoning, and even organ damage. It's crucial to understand that our bodies are not equipped to handle certain materials, such as horse semen. Dr. Thompson emphasized what might seem like a harmless and humorous act can quickly turn dangerous.
Oh my God. So you guys can check out this full video if you want for more information from the article. Yeah, me too, crazy duck lady. I thought that this was just like some fake news type stuff too, but this appears to be a real article as far as I'm aware. I just posted a link in the chat. It will also be linked up in the video description following the termination of the broadcast if you guys want to hear more about this disgusting story. Totally don't blame me if you don't want to hear anything more about it. So we'll cut it off here. But let's continue with more Tim Walls stuff. Next, we have a post from Rob Smith, who I know Fleckus loves. Fleckus and Ratboy. Kind of an obsession with Rob Smith. It gets worse for Walls. Unearthed footage from 2004 shows then Rep Tim Walls telling a Gold Star family that he deployed to Afghanistan and that he and the troops under his command struggled with PTSD. From what I understand, he actually left the service and was downranked as a result, so he would avoid deployment. So this seems to be an outright fabrication on his part, allegedly and disgustingly so.
And both of you, with your keen understanding of how this works, especially from National Guard families, I can tell you this, having been one of those that came back, we were in support of OEF, but being sitting in there with OIF veterans, when we came back, they showed us the horse whisperer and told us to be
horse
nice when we went home. And that was the extent of it. That was in 2004. Now, I'm proud to say that because of the people sitting in here and people who came before me, things have changed over the last 4 years. They have not changed enough. But Mr. Kennedy is following and moving something forward that the late senator from Minnesota, Senator Wellstone, advocated so clearly, mental health parity, and this issue of destigmatizing mental health, of understanding. And I, being in there and knowing as a first sergeant, know exactly what you're saying, and watching as people aren't trained on this, that there is there's a discrimination that goes against a soldier who has the courage, the fortitude, and as you said, the insight to admit this. So there's a couple things I want to ask you, and both of you, with your keen
So yeah, he's pretty much implying that he was in the shit over there, which apparently he was not, allegedly. So crazy stuff. Bayou Gator, that's right, stolen valor. Man, let's jump over to our next one. Another damning Tim Walz tale. Libs of TikTok posted this one. Chaya Rychik at Libs of TikTok. Lisa Hansen, a small business owner in Minnesota, was thrown in jail for 90 days because she violated Tim Walz's unconstitutional COVID lockdown orders. Tim Walz is not some cuddly, joyful coach like all the things that the MSM are calling him. This man would like to take your rights away. Let's listen to her firsthand testimony of what life under the governorship of Tim Walz is like in Minnesota during the lockdowns.
When COVID happened, and in the state of Minnesota, my business was located in the state of Minnesota, southern Minnesota. It was a lovely wine and coffee bistro, and it had been in operation for going on 8 years by the time that my business was shut down and destroyed.
I hate this so much, man. The lockdowns, illegal lockdowns, preventing businesses from constitutionally operating with no authority, caused hundreds of thousands of businesses to shutter permanently. If, reparations for slavery, my ass. Reparations for this. This is what people need reparations for. Black families, white families, all families, people whose businesses were shut down, people who were prevented from working. Under the Fifth Amendment, my interpretation, if you confiscate somebody's business, effectively preventing them from using it under the guise of public good, public use, in this case, public disuse, all these people are entitled to just compensation under the Fifth Amendment. We need reparations for this. Things that are happening now, things that affect everybody, illegal infringement on the blanket everybody's rights in this country. It's sickening to me.
And when I say it was destroyed, I'm speaking of the being shuttered and not being able to survive that because of what Governor Tim Walz and Attorney General Keith Ellison did to me and to my business, as well as our employees. And so what happened is with the first shutdown, we didn't really know what to do, what was going on, and we did comply. And I hate to say that, looking back at everything I've stood for, but we did comply because we didn't know what else to do. He never fully opened up the state. To point this out, who did he shut down? Governor Walz shut down only some of the businesses. The essential businesses got to stay open. So I guess that means that we were a non-essential business, but so he shut down bars, restaurants, gyms, dance studios, hair salons, etc. Who did he not shut down? Who were the essential business owners? That would have been your big box stores, with hundreds and hundreds of people coming to visit through their doors a day, mingling and being close. He did not shut down liquor stores. He did not shut down strip clubs. So think about the contrast there. He shut down a lot of the mom and pop shops, those folks that were just trying to make a living and provide a great product and a great service. In contrast, he allowed big box stores, et cetera, to stay open.
Disgusting. Disgusting. Calling you non-essential. If you have a car, are the pistons essential? Is the radiator essential? In an economy, everything is essential. Everything is essential. Everybody's job is essential. Her job was essential for her family, essential for the economy as a whole. This idea that some of us and some of our jobs and businesses are non-essential is pure criminality, pure lies. Just shows you how much they value you as an individual.
Really incredible, an incredible use of tyranny against the people. So we opened up. I can't tell you for sure how long we were open, but immediately within 24 to 48 hours, the state came down on us with a vengeance. They attacked me, a woman, small business owner, as well as other small business owners in the state of Minnesota. They came down, they sent the health department down, they sent everything they could against us. They employed all of their resources against we the people. I went to court. I was found guilty. Was precipitated and put on me by the, you got to go all the way to the top. That again, that'd be Tim Walz and Attorney General Keith Ellison. I was given sentenced to 90 days, which was the max sentencing, and I was also fined $1,000, which was the max fine for this,
that's right, JJR. I would hate to see that
supposed thing that I did, where I was standing on my rights and totally protected by the Constitution of the United States of America. But when you have rogue judges, rogue government, attorney general, et cetera, they're all in lockstep with each other, it doesn't go very well for the people. And this is what we need to be standing against. And this is the story that America needs to know. This is the story that America needs to hear. That Tim Walz is not some cuddly, joyful coach like all the things that the MSMs are calling him, or some of the things that they're calling him. That is not who this man is. This man would like to take your rights away. He will take your rights away, because what happened to me could have happened to anybody. What happened to me will happen to you if we don't get things turned around in our country.
Insane. Insane. We can never forget. We can never forgive what happened during the lockdowns, the mandates, etc. We'll get more into that at some point when we're off YouTube. But Nuremberg 2.0, guys, due process these people right onto spikes, into wood chippers, down to the bottom of ropes, and into volcanoes after due process. Of course, FBI's asked. So a trial by jury of your peers, due process. These people are a scourge on humanity. Let's jump over to our next topic. Leading Report reported this last night while we were live. I had it in the comments. Breaking: Trump campaign office in Virginia has been broken into. Crazy. We got some photographs over here, captures of the individuals responsible allegedly as well, posted by libs of TikTok. Trump campaign office in Ashburn, Virginia was broken into. People are searching for this man who burglarized the campaign office. Anyone with information is asked to contact authorities at 571-918-1869. Here's the individual, the alleged individual or two in question, maybe three, hard to tell. But yeah, what the hell's up with this, man? They're breaking into the Trump campaign offices. Nobody was there guarding it or anything. Kind of weird. Let me know if you guys have any more information about this that we can share on the show. Let's jump into another topic on our manic, frenetic show, jumping all over the place, keeping your minds occupied. Alex Jones posted this one at Real Alex Jones. Breaking: Naval officer publishes powerful dossier exposing the leaders of the deep state. Meet the council running America. At Greg Stenstrom. Check this out, guys. This is crazy stuff right here.
The first rule of warfare, the first rule in any fight is you've got to know who the enemy is. You have to put a face to them. And what we've done with this article is put a face to them and explain how they work, what they do, and who has the power to stop it. The President of the United States has the power to stop this, in particular, President Trump. And if you look at President Trump and you look at who he is, he's the greatest whistleblower in history. He walked among them, not with them, but among them. He knows who they are. He knows what they've done. He knows how they work. If he didn't, he does now. But that is a huge threat to them. because in concert with the Supreme Court, the U.S. Supreme Court and the House Judiciary Committee, they have remedies that they can take to suspend and terminate the actions of the council and break their hold on this country and their extraction of wealth. And they're wielding of power through political people. So if you look at Trump as the greatest whistleblower of all time, and he's coming in, then he would usher in hundreds of other federal whistleblowers that have been crushed financially, removed from their jobs, terminated, in some cases murdered for attempting to, have good governance. But the Democrats need to look at here, and Republicans, they need to look at how they're being manipulated. Did any Democrat get a choice of Hillary Clinton? No. I mean, Bernie Sanders won the primary, not Hillary. Did any Democrats get a say in the removal of Biden, who is effectively removed right now? Did anybody get a say in Kamala Harris and Waltz being, installed into the presumptive nominee? I mean, Governor, I don't know anyone who made a choice of Governor Waltz. Do you? And I think once people see that, they go, well, who's calling the shots on that? It's the uniparty.
Clearly the horses proposed Governor Waltz to be the VP.
It's the council. There are a small group of people calling the shots. Once you know who they are, and you kind of accept that. Part of the cognitive dissonance people have is they can't believe that they're just going to steal the election. They can't believe that COVID could have possibly been meant to harm them. They go, I can't believe that our government would do that. Well, you saw prima facie evidence that whether they were involved in trying to murder President Trump and assassinate him, they certainly didn't do anything to stop it. So why is it such a hard leap to say that they'll steal an election? Having said that, we have to prepare people that the council and their political arms, their intelligence arms and so forth, they're constantly running shaping operations, and they tell you what they're going to do if you listen. They've told us they're going to steal the election. And what we have to do is we don't have to say, woe is me, what are we going to do? We have to say, okay, they're going to steal the election. What do we do? Does the election end on November 5th or 6th, whatever day they announce Harris won? No.
Home girl.
The election goes until December 10th until they can certify, and they must show that they ran a lawful election to certify. So just simply announcing it in the press that Harris won is insufficient.
While other networks lie to you about what's happening now.com.
From great researchers in the Trump campaign, Greg Stenstrom is a decorated Navy veteran, researcher. I won't go over his whole bio, but he has done an amazing deep dive. I have hundreds of pages of research, and I had him come on last week and only read like 100 pages. So I said, let's move into this week because I wanted to read it all. I did read it all yesterday, over 400 pages of it. He's done an excellent analysis because I've done my own research, so I know it's accurate. But he's gone really, really deep on who is the deep state commanders. And Ivan Recklin's done a great job, Defense Intelligence Agency, lawyer, patriot, on the general group, hundreds of them. But who are the generals? Who are the field marshals that obviously tried to kill Trump a month ago and are doing all of this? And so Greg's done a great job. Patriot.online. You can find him there. He is the co-author of a best-selling book, The Parallel Election, A Blueprint for Deception. He has co-defendants with President Trump in a landmark defamation lawsuit in Philadelphia. And it just goes on from there. We're talking about the council and who is running the government, assassination attempt on President Trump, removal of Biden, installation of Harris, and the council on Trump, Alex Jones, Roger Stone, General Flynn, Christina Bobb, Joe Hoft, Steve Bannon, and ordinary citizens like Stenstrom. And so we're going to break it all down with him right now and try to give him the floor for the hour. And we'll tell you where you can go read the council, who is running the United States, Department of Just Us. Here's the report, TV viewers.
Department of Just Us. Good one. Thanks, Alicia. Always love your perspectives. Really appreciate you commenting.
You should spend your time reading this. We'll tell you where to find it. But Greg, thank you so much for being with us today.
Good to be here. I've been looking forward to it. I've been a big fan for years, and it's a pleasure to be on your show.
Well, I knew your report was important, and people in the Trump campaign, high level, said I should talk to you. And I'd seen some of your work before, but I'm going to try to just shut up and give you the floor. Let's begin as we zero in on not the entire deep state, because that can get dizzying, but on the key commanders here, kind of the deck of cards. Let's talk about who is in this coup against America.
Sure. Just to kind of preface, and before we get into it, I've been involved since the 2020 election in the statutory role as authorized representative and certified poll watcher. And over the past 4 years, I've been involved in a number of lawsuits, including the defamation suit where we're co-defendants with President Trump, which we won, by the way, using truth as a complete defense. And over that period of time, I've been working with a close group of friends. Colonel and Dr. Timothy Schindler and I are close friends, and I want to make sure I properly credit a lot of this work to him. And
I should add your huge bio. You're a doctor as well. But yeah, so go ahead.
No. I'm not a doctor.
I just saw MD on there.
Bachelor's of Science. No, Bachelor's of Science, Maryland. You saw Annapolis, Maryland. So I'm a U.S. Naval Academy graduate. And
all right, well, you come highly recommended. So let's plunge into it.
Let's get into it. So the premise of the article and the reason for the show today was there's a control group within this country that was developed in 1978 in response to the Watergate scandal, for the people old enough to remember that, with Nixon and so forth. And there was a creation of a group called the Council. The Council is what they were originally created as. It's also known as the CIGIE, CIGIE, but I want to refer to it for the Council to keep people on track. And what they've done is they initially formed for, I think, good. The Inspector General Corps, combined with the FBI and the Department of Justice, they were what's called a sui generis operation.
Road to hell paved with good intentions, as always, starts with something good and then turns into something that's pure evil.
Group of untouchables. Sui generis means unto themselves, so that they could investigate anyone, including the President of the United States, members of Congress, the Senate, global oligarchs, masters of business. So I think the group was originally formed, I'm going to say whether it was good intentions or not, but they created a tremendous amount of power and put it in a small group of people's hands. And what's happened is that has been twisted over the last 50 years. And this group has become basically the people who run the United States of America. And, to say them by name is the simplest thing, but the council currently, the top level of the council is Inspector General Michael Horowitz, FBI Director Christopher Wray, U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland, the Director of Office of Professional Responsibility, Jeffrey Ragsdale, the Chief Public Integrity Sector called the PIN, which is Corey Emerson, and Deputy U.S. Attorney Lisa Monaco, and First Principal Deputy Marshall Miller. That group is at the pinnacle or the head of the council.
If you're gonna spew into this.
Oh, so gross.
They have the power to indict anyone they want, and they've done so. They indicted President Trump. They have the power to hold investigations or obstruct investigations. And that's where I originally touched on them in the group I'm working with that includes Dr. Schindler. They originally contacted me. We were classmates as well. But the obstruction of the massive election fraud of 2020, the obstruction of investigations, is where I came into contact with them. There's multiple other people, whistleblowers in the federal government, that they've obstructed cases, and that's part of the article where we explain where that came from. But they basically weaponized government agencies by placing inspectors general in each of these government agencies, the CIA, NSA, pick an agency. They've got an inspector general in there, and that inspector general reports to Inspector General Horowitz. And that group is what really controls the United States.
Boom. Check out this full interview. I posted the link in the chat a couple minutes ago. As much as I'd love to sit here and play the whole hour-long interview, which we would be legally allowed to do since Mr. General Jones puts out all of his info free of copyright. We got to keep moving because there's just tons of stuff to talk about, as always. Why don't we go ahead and terminate the YouTube broadcast and go exclusive over on Rumble and X. And yeah, Alicia, I agree. 1,562.48%. The real controllers run all Western and most non-Western countries. Follow the money. And that we're seeing a split from that group with the BRICS organization, quite possibly trying to, it may be a critical blow to the New World Order money changers agenda. We'll have to see what happens in upcoming months. Here's a link to Rumble. If you guys are watching on YouTube, come and join us over there where we can speak freely and where the water's warm. Looks like only 2 people are over on Rumble, so sorry to have to ditch you if you can't make it. We'll be back tomorrow for a hump day episode of Common Censored. Until then, let's get ready.